Okay, awesome. Does it say that it's recording for you?
Yep.
Okay, awesome. Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy Scotty, and I am here with the man, the myth, the legend, Warren Moon. Warren, thank you for joining me tonight on this interview, my first out of any of them, and I'm very honoured to have you here tonight.
Thanks, Scott, and happy to do it for you, mate. I know you're a real diehard Raw fan, so more than happy to talk to you tonight.
Yeah, awesome. Cheers for that, mate. Very appreciated. But first of all, I want to say congratulations on your first professional gig as a manager. We'd love to have you at the club, and we're glad your first gig is with us here at Brisbane Roar.
Yeah, well, obviously affiliated with the club, have it's a club close to my heart, so obviously really delighted to be in charge. And yeah, it's been exciting in the short space of time I've been involved.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because you were a lot, some people may not know that you were a foundation player at the club. You started off when the Raw started in 2005, and I've actually got a photo here that you may not have seen for a while. I got given it as a present from one of my mates. You're over here up here a little, probably a little bit different looking now to what you were there before, but very, very cool. That actually was signed by you by my mate. Actually gave it to me. He doesn't really follow the Raw too much, but I thought it's pretty cool, and I saw that you were there, so thought I'd bring it.
Yeah, they were good times. Good times back in the first couple of seasons of the A-League. Definitely a lot skinnier there. I was a lot fitter, that's for sure. So
I think you still give it a good run now these days, anyway.
I wish, but no, they were good times, and great to be a part of the start of what this club is now. And really proud to be there at the beginning, and to see where it is now is really great.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So what were you thinking? I guess going from back in the days of the Queensland Roar, how has it sort of changed from that stage to where it is now, the club?
I think the game was always changing, evolving. We were certainly back then. We didn't. There's not too many difference in terms of the setups. We didn't have anything different in terms of the facilities, resources. We had great facilities back then when we were based out of the Lions. So it's more the differences in players. I think the players are far more professional these days. Not to say we weren't back then, we were very serious, but I think the education and understanding of players and how they look after themselves more, their dedication to professionalism in the game, I think it's come on another level.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've seen the football in Australia grown a lot bigger. I know we have we're the biggest sport in Australia, I guess, with participation wise. Obviously, we're up against a lot of different codes these days, trying to fight for the best spot there. But I've definitely seen it's growing and growing, and it looks like it's growing in the right direction, which is always good to see. But I was just going to ask, with the pathway that you took to get to the A-League, how did you go by? Did you play through in the NSL back in the day, then get picked up, or how did that work for you?
Yeah, I had played in the NSL. That was my first professional gig came. Initially down in Adelaide, as very little began. I made the trek down to Adelaide City, which was a really great experience for me at such a young age. And it didn't work out there. I got an injury and came back to Brisbane. They're not like that for the Brisbane Strikers, and was very fortunate to play in the National League there. So it was a bit different back in those days. We didn't have the same opportunities, I think. We had the QAS, which was around, but not anything like it is now. Obviously, the pathway seems to be far more expansive in terms of A-League academies, and obviously the Brisbane Roar Academy here. So I think there's more opportunity for players these days than back then. It was pretty much a case of, if you didn't get picked up in the QAS, you need to try and find your way into senior men's football as quickly as you could, and make sure you impress even at a young age to try and get picked up if you were lucky enough to be seen.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I actually found out this year as well. Yourself, you actually lived over in the UK at one stage, and you actually were mates with one of my football managers, Terry, and which is a small world, I guess. You're both living over here in Brisbane now, but was that ever a thing for you over there, possibly trying to get a career over there in football, or is it not?
Look, I did play there after the A-League. I went and played in Scotland for a period of time. It was a great experience, but it was Brisbane was still home, and I ended up finding my way back here, and happy to be back home in Brisbane.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because you've had a bit of your trade over here at mainly Lions FC. I guess you took them to quite a few titles over here and then and the NPL, and we also saw you. Did you go to the National League where you sort of versed in the other states as well? You did pretty well over there as well.
Yeah, we obviously 2 years in a row we made the NPL National Finals, Grand Final. Both times coming up short, but when you compare what Lions and the NPL Queensland does on the national stage compared to sort of some of the other leagues, I think that was quite a great effort from the club, because we certainly don't have the finances here in the NPL Queensland like they do in the other states, especially Victoria and Sydney. So, I think that Lions as a club are quite proud of that achievement. But, I had a good time there. Five good years at that club, and before that, I had 4 good years at Peninsula Power, and where it all started when I got into coaching was one pretty good year at Eastern Suburbs. So
no, that's awesome. Yeah, because the Penn Power is actually pretty close to me as well. I'm over just on the north side of Brisbane as well, so yeah, very close to me there. And I went to school actually with Tommy Strickland over there, so didn't know him personally, but my mate was mates with him though. But there's a lot of talent actually in the NPL. We've seen a few players step up out of the NPL this season, but obviously there's a lot of talent that sort of sometimes gets missed or not a lot of game time with. I guess it could be a controversial topic here. Me just saying this off the top of my head. A lot of foreign players sort of maybe take spots of young players, which is a controversial topic. But I guess in saying that, there's a lot of youth coming through, and I've talked to a lot of players over my time. Emilio Martinez speaks very highly of the fact that there should be a national second division. Is that something that you agree with, something like that?
Well, firstly, to your first comment about the NPL talent, there's a lot of talent in the NPL, and there's probably 2 schools of thought in this country around that. There are people that believe in the quality of the NPL, and there are people that don't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm certainly one that believes in the talent in the NPL, and I believe there are many players across the country that could step up if given an opportunity. They just need that opportunity. So I'm certainly one that believes that, and I think in the short term, you've seen with Danny coming in for his loan spell with the club, how well he did. So I think that goes to show there is talent there. And I think I'm certainly an advocate of the NPL. So there's that. In regards to the National Second Division, look, I think in time, I really think we need to make sure we expand and improve the A-League before we start looking to go down that path. And I certainly think, given what's going on globally right now, that any talk of expansion right now, I think it's just probably premature and probably needs to be put on hold.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you mentioned Danny Kim there. He looked like he was like in his own there. He didn't even look at like a second outside of the all the other A-League players there. Really shone in the Brisbane Roar squad in the finals for the little time that he did train with the squad. We did see he has departed the club. He's gone back to Lions after his little loan spell. Will we see possibly Danny Kim back in Brisbane Roar colours next season?
Well, I think firstly, on Danny, he was excellent in the time he came in. He did a really great job, and like I said, full belief in that he could step up, and not just step up. He did that with limited preparation, no fitness behind him, and then found himself starting, and not only starting but playing in big games, NPL. A semi-final of an A-League match. So he did a great job. He was a Lions player. Lions were good enough to loan him to us. And while there's a bit of uncertainty around the league, the CBA, and all that kind of stuff that's happening beyond our control, he needs to go back to Lions and honour his contract there. All I'd say with Danny is watch this space, because we know he's a talent.
Yeah, for sure. Always great with your media there. I was going to say, have you ever met James Coughlin? He's from the Brisbane Football Review.
Yes, yeah, I've met James.
Yeah. He wanted to have a comment in that, saying that would you be looking at taking any more NPL players from other teams than Lions to try to boost Lions' confidence and get them up the table?
Look, it's an interesting one, because rightly or wrongly, or even if people are joking or serious, Lions have been the premier team in the local comp for the last 5 years, so automatically there's some good players in that squad. So I don't think there's a bias, in my opinion, whether I took a player from Lions or I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do respect and recognise that there are good players in other teams, and there are good players in other states. So, I know James is probably a bit tongue in cheek there, but I know that some NPL clubs will probably want me to take more Lions players out of their squad in the coming season. So, but yeah.
Is that something that you're definitely looking at probably bringing into your own football type of thing? Some young players coming through from the NPL. I mean, we saw with Danny, he stepped in there and looked like a real talent, and like you said, we know his talent there. Is that something that you might be looking at implementing a bit more of the youth academy players or NPL players coming through in the future?
Well, I've got great belief, and if you look at the sides I've coached over the years, they've all been fairly young.
Yep.
Not by choice, but I believe in young players. I know they can come in and do a job, and if they're good enough, they're definitely old enough. I know it's a cliche, but I've believed that ever since I've stepped into coaching. You look at what we had. Danny was a young boy coming in, but he's played men's football. But Kai Truen got minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I've got full belief in young Kai and what he can do. And Jordan's played minutes, and we've got other good players in the academy that if given an opportunity, could step up. And so in regards to what I'm looking to do, I'm looking to build a side that our Queensland public and our Raw supporters can identify with. And the easiest way to identify with a team is to have Queensland talent, young Queensland talent that care and want to play for the shirt and want to play in front of family and friends.
Yeah, I think that's definitely something we've seen with Dylan Wenzel-Halls as well. I've seen a lot of photos of him being a young supporter of the Roar games in his jerseys, and now he's playing for the club. And you see every goal he scores, he's so passionate. You just love that passion. He's always hitting the badge. Even Tommy Aldred hitting the badge when he scores some goals there. So I guess the players really, the club means a lot to the players. The bond that they had, obviously, with the COVID bond that they would have had to have in the hub there, would have probably brought them closer, probably with Danny Kim as well, being around the players a lot.
Yeah, I
transition
think
a little bit easier.
Look, it's been just touching on that. It's been a huge sacrifice for everyone. Not just staff but players as well. It ended up being nearly 8 weeks away from family and friends, and it was a tough time for everyone. Given the conditions where we had to continually move hotels or change this or change that, it was just a tricky period all around. But one thing that was a positive out of it was, one, we were playing football, which they love, for Brisbane Roar, and they wanted to be successful. But two, they bonded as a group. The togetherness that they all found in the time away has made us a much stronger group. And given the bulk of the squad will be there next year, I think that leads in really well into what might come next season.
Yeah, because at one stage we really weren't sure if we were going to get football back in the A-League, whether it be in Brisbane or in Queensland, or whether it be in a hub situation. There was a lot of back and forth there, but we're so happy, and we're so glad that the players did that for everyone in the public, even though we didn't get to see very many games. It's a massive sacrifice, and as fans anyway, it's something that we tip our hats off to you guys for going through that, and hopefully the public return the favour and come to games the next season with a smile on their face, seeing that we might have football back with crowds again.
Yeah, I mean, that's our intention, mate. We want to see as many people at our games, and we want to engage a bit better with our fans, our stakeholders, and play some attractive attacking football that excites you guys to want to come watch us. We don't want to be a side that doesn't entertain. We certainly want to entertain whilst trying to win, which is obviously the goal. But we certainly want to see as many people at our games as possible next season.
Yeah, it's definitely something that the fans are loathing for already. It's just like the A-League season's already over and we're already missing football. So obviously it's your off season now, but we don't know when the A-League is going to be coming back. But do you know when we might see the boys training again, or back on the pitch possibly?
Yeah, it's a bit up in the air at the moment, mate, if I'm honest. But hopefully we might get some answers in the coming weeks. But I think regardless, even if we project it might start early next year, we'll see the boys back in training around mid-October time.
Yep. No, that's good to see. Yeah, because it's just, it is that really weird period at the moment with the season ending later. But there is talk of the winter switch, so going from to the calendar year. So the season will be starting 2021. By the sounds of things, is that something that you agree with the winter switch, with the cooler temperatures maybe lining up with the federation leagues? Is that something that you see as a positive for Australian football?
Yeah, my own personal opinion is yes, absolutely. It aligns with Asia, firstly.
Yep.
Which gives everyone a better chance when competing in the Asian Champions League. It aligns with the federations and the state comps, which I think is important as well. And you get to play in a season where it's more conducive to football conditions. I think he saw the speed of the matches in the A-League was far quicker in this period when we returned, and I think that was only beneficial to the quality of the product.
Yeah, I think a lot of people on the soccer Twitter or stuff like that was really saying that you saw a lot more attacking and free flowing football. Like the players, like itself, like I saw Stephen Mork saying like he loves playing in the cooler temperatures. It's like, especially going from like Adelaide where he's playing in like 40-degree heat and stuff like that. Like it's just too dangerous for players. So I think it's definitely we're gonna see a better product. The only talk is, I guess, you're versing the other codes. But if we're doing everything right that we got to do as a game, then people that want to watch the game will come out, and in the end, I think it will be a better product for the viewers as well as the football in general.
Yeah, spot on, mate. You know, I think the time's come where we can't worry about other codes. We're the highest participation sport in the country, have been for a while. Yes, you're going to have the obstacles of the other codes and you're going to compete with them. But, you know, it's a generational thing right now, mate. And, you know, working in the school system as well and seeing the way there's a decline in rugby union, cricket, rugby league, based purely on numbers. When you start to see a generational shift of those soccer lovers and fans coming through schools and growing up into adults, having kids, and they're taking their kids to football matches. They're not taking them to rugby league or rugby union. And if our product is best suited in the winter and we put on a good product, then you'll slowly see that shift, and we'll have our marketplace and we'll have our supporters, and we shouldn't worry too much about what the other codes are doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, spot on there. But we did see, I guess, for the product type of thing, a lot smaller stadiums coming into it this season with the atmosphere pumping a little bit more. I mean, at Suncorp, it's obviously really good when there's finals there. We have seen that in the past, but I guess when there's like 7,000, 10,000 people there in a 50,000 seat stadium, it is pretty bare, especially for the cameras. But with the Dolphin Stadium, we saw a few games there this season. Is that something that the club's looking at possibly doing a little bit more next season?
Yeah, look, I've heard talk about it, but it's obviously something, you know, you'd have to ask our CEO and obviously what the plan is there. But, you know, I think there'll definitely be games at Dolphin next year. There was this year, and it was a big success. I think you'd agree if you were there as a fan. The atmosphere was fantastic on the game played there. So I'm sure we'll be back there at more capacity. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because they've only just got that new stand there, which is always good. More seating there available for the north side people there. But yeah, it's something that I think that is, I guess, needed, and the players really boost for that when they've got like a smaller crowd there. They're really basically on top of each other there. Yeah, so I think it would be something that we'd love to see there, and as obviously it's north side of there, it's closer to home as well, so always going to back the Redcliff move there if we get a few more games there.
Yeah, well, look, it's like I said, it's a really great part of the world up there, and you know, I obviously wasn't coaching at the time, but I was at the games, and the atmosphere and the support there on the games that were played there were first class. So, yeah, you know, I'm sure that any more games there in the future would be welcome.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we saw a little bit of a difference for you for what the formation wise when under the season this year under Robbie Fowler and Tony Grant with the 3 or the 5 at the back. Obviously, that's something that you didn't really tinker with too much when you came here. Obviously, the players sort of were set in that mold for this season. What was that like playing under a 3 or a 5 at the back type of formation?
Look, formation is obviously one part of football. Style of play, and obviously, you know, my beliefs, I'm quite an attacking coach. So I didn't want to change too much with what was already put in place. And again, I'll make the point, and I've said this all along, is what was put in place was good from Tony and Robbie, and it just wasn't appropriate for a new coach to come in and change all that, whether it be a system or whatever it may be. But you know, I think one of the things I did sort of start to impart or imprint on the side was we wanted to be a little bit more attacking, aggressive in how we played, tried to be a bit more offensive on the front foot. So hopefully they were some of the tweaks that you saw and obviously our fans saw in the game since taking over. And I think there was a genuine shift in how we wanted to press that a little bit higher up the park. And, you know, systems are one thing, and we obviously stuck to our system. But, you know, when you have sort of beliefs and principles about how you want to play, I think systems become secondary to that.
Yeah, I definitely did see that the tweak that you made, I guess, pushing the players a lot higher, the fullbacks especially a lot higher up the pitch, winning the ball back with a high press. And I guess that led to one of the goals where JRSA put the ball through to Dylan Zuhals and he chipped the keeper and scored the goal. So it's that attacking type of style that I think that the Brisbane fans in the community have been wanting for a while now. So I think if we can continue on that next season, it's going to definitely be a product that the fans are going to love to see.
Yeah, and look, that's I'm very attack-minded coach, and whether we play back three or back four, whatever it may be, mate, it's again, it's about our principles and obviously our style of play. We want to be attacking on the front foot, and I don't think that's necessarily a Warramoon thing. I think that's Brisbane, and that's a Queensland thing. I think it doesn't matter what code it is. We like to see our teams have a go at attack, try and be on the front foot, be aggressive, and I think that's what the Queensland public like to see.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that one. But you mentioned sort of before, a lot of the players are looking at possibly staying next season. Is there any more departures that we might be seeing? We saw obviously Daniel Bowles and a few other players leave with Redenton and Kim, as well as Reardon as well. Is there anything else we might be seeing in the future?
Look, it's hard to answer that right now. You know, we can't shy away from the fact it's a difficult time in our country in terms of what's going on, and obviously we're trying to get through a tricky period with the administrators. At this stage, I don't foresee too many departures, if any. There's probably not one I can answer right now, if I'm honest, because
no, that's fair enough.
The truth is I don't know. So
no, I didn't think you'd give me an exclusive, but that's all right. But something that you might be able to answer, but probably not too in detail, is have you got your eye on any players at the moment? Are there any sort of transfers in the works that we might be seeing in the coming months or so? Yeah, great to hear. So
look, I'll tell you what I'll say. You know, obviously we've got a great squad. We need to add some players, but I'll go back to what I said before. I'm really passionate about a Queensland flavour to our side, and you know, we will obviously have an idea of what we want to do, but you know, I'd like to think that we'd have a good Queensland flavour in our squad as well in next season's announcements.
Okay, great to hear there. I'll keep that in mind there. A few more Queensland players I might be able to search up and see if we can pick someone. But obviously we have a few foreign spots. How many foreign spots do we have at the moment? Obviously O'Donovan's left, and have we filled any spots there? Or?
Just the ones we've still got remain currently. I think we've got 4 in our books. So.
Okay, so we don't know yet actually if it's going to be still 5 next season or not. But is there any foreign players that you possibly have an eye on at the moment, or you're looking more?
Again, that's really hard to answer, and not because I'm trying to deflect or employ. It's just that, again, you know, when the CBA has not been agreed and there's a lot of things up in the air, it's like those kind of conversations can't really take place just yet because you don't know what you could do or offer, or you know how our league's going to look. So it's probably really too early to answer that one. Yeah,
for sure. Obviously, with the something that I didn't tell you before, but I just come to my head, and I'm pretty sure you'll be happy to answer. With the FFA Cup this season being cancelled, is that something that we're looking at winning next season? And in past seasons, before Val was here, we sort of took it as more of a pre-season using your squad players. Is that something that we'd love to win as a Brisbane Roar fan? We haven't really got too far in the Cup, but is that something that you're definitely putting your eyes on?
Absolutely. I want to win every cup we want to play. I want to win the pre-season cup. If we were playing against a couple of local teams, I think winning's a habit, and it's a good mentality to have. And if there's a trophy on the line and it's called the FFA Cup, and we're there just to get ready for as a pre-season, then that doesn't sit well with me. So no, we'll take every competition seriously, and certainly the FFA Cup, coming from NPL land as well, with the team in the FFA Cup, knowing the importance of that trophy to local comp sides, it's certainly something that I think Brisbane Roar should be looking to do well in.
Yeah, I think that's something that the Roar fans will love to hear there. We're hopefully going to win it all. I mean, we've heard it here first. Warren wants to win it all, so let's hope we can do it. But I saw you sort of mentioned it there with the NPL. Was there a bit of a step up for you as a manager and as a team with the competition type of style? Was there much of a step up between teams and as a manager yourself?
Look, it's, you know, I get asked that quite a bit. And, you know, it's hard to answer that. It's to say, well, look, obviously there's better players. But I think the best way to describe it is I heard an interview with Barack Obama a while back. I think it's on, you know, YouTube or you can see it. But, you know, he spoke about his pathway from local council all the way up to the President of the United States. And the way he described it was, it doesn't matter the level you go, there's still the same issues. There's still the same conversations. There's still the same problems.
Yeah.
Um, and despite the level and the height, the importance, that you're still going to be faced with those. Not, I probably would describe it the same way. It's coaching is still the same, team dynamic is still the same. The players are slightly better, obviously. They're full-time players, as an example. But look, nothing changes. Football's still the same game. There's still the same problems that you have to solve, and there's an objective to score more than the opposition and you win.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean, we didn't really, I guess we didn't really score too many this season, but we were hard to beat. I guess we hardly scored, conceded any goals this season, which was definitely something different compared to last season, which was almost, I guess it was embarrassing the way that we conceded so many goals last season. So the turnaround this season was absolutely brilliant for what we had last season. Obviously, there was a lot of turnaround in players as well, but is that something that you're looking at continuing in the future, as in like defensively keeping really a solid structure, but also bringing that, I guess, that attacking flair that you said that you're looking at bringing into the club?
Yeah, like I think we need to obviously look at it, and I feel for the boys in the two games that we lost since I took over were our two most attacking games in terms of chances created. If you look at the Adelaide game, I think there wasn't a game we created more chances in. So we're obviously very strong defensively.
Yeah.
We are quite attacking, and I think if we can continue to work on that, we'll create chances, and we did in every game. Now it's about maybe finishing off our good work when we are in those games and in those dominant moments. And in every game we played, we had dominant moments where if we'd have taken our chances, it could have even been better for us.
Yeah.
But there's no doubt about it. We need to look at obviously bolstering parts of the pitch where we need to score goals. And I think, we'll certainly look to do that.
Yeah, definitely. I guess with that COVID time that you guys had together, you had a lot of time to bond with players and all that. But if you were a player at the moment, what would one player that you wouldn't want to room with on an away day?
Oh, that's a good question. And look, obviously it's a hard one for me because I'm the coach. But I think personally, it'd have to be Jai Ingham.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a lovely kid. Really, really great for the team. I think he's just 24/7 energy. So I like my quiet time and some sleep. So I'll probably make sure Jai stays with someone else, I think. So.
Yeah, I've heard he's a really, really upbeat person. Now, did you end up getting a haircut from Jai when he went around and did
I did. Yeah. And I had full faith in Jai that he'd do a good job, and he certainly did. I don't have high expectations. I'm not one that gets my haircut every few weeks, but I put my faith in Jai, and he did a good job.
That's great to hear. Then, yeah, Jai, I think Tommy Orge, I was talking to him and he said he was pretty happy with his haircut as well. So I mean, maybe a part-time thing on the side as well. He might be able to cut some at the players' hair.
It's been suggested to him, so
yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I guess you had a lot of time around the players. There was did you pick up who the funniest player might have been in the dressing room?
Well, Jai again would probably come into consideration there. Look, I think everyone has their moments. They're a really great bunch. They all quite funny. Corey Brown's quite a joker. So he's quite funny. He's good life of the party. And then, I think all of them have their moments. They're quite funny at times. We had the trivia night down there, which was a good laugh. Although slightly controversial, we had the winning table. What was Aldred and McDonald? They won the bonus point, which was worth 10 points.
Oh.
But someone had a smartwatch, didn't they? So they googled the which was when the Monopoly game I think was made. So really obscure question, which they seemed to get bang on the exact money and ended up taking it out. So. But no, we had a good time down there in terms of the bonding, and the boys got on really well, and they were a very tight-knit group. Yeah.
Do you think that's something that you might possibly look at it in the future? I guess it's sort of worked well with the bonding experience, maybe going on some trips with the lads, like going up. I guess we went up to Mackay this season, and Logan or up that way in North Queensland. Do you think that's something that you might be looking at doing in the future? A few more trips with the boys?
I think most teams would look to take their team away for some part of the preseason, and we'll certainly look to go up there again.
Yeah.
Up to probably Harvey Bay way, Fraser Coast way.
Okay.
As a group, and I think it's important. New groups go away, and but obviously a good opportunity to go into camp and work on things in the preseason will be good for us.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a massive bonding experience for the players. I think that would really love that. But I guess you probably don't know much about it, but FIFA 21, it's coming out soon. Generally, the jersey comes out around that time. Then obviously it's got to be on the game. Then do we know when we might see a jersey reveal for the next season?
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, and I don't know much about FIFA 21, so sorry to be boring there. I got no idea.
No, that's okay.
I have been told the new kit looks great. That's what I can say.
Awesome. Yeah, I love the black kit as well. So I mean, fingers crossed we've got the black kit again next season. It was absolutely class. So hopefully I'm happy with that one there for next season if we see that. But yeah, I think we're with Umbro again, aren't we, for next season? Is that?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I think we were definitely with them for next year. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and it's great to see. Obviously, we got Astronaut as well for another season. It's I think when we saw that advertising for the sponsorship deal, it was something that was really fulfilling to see as a fan, because obviously we had those times where we didn't even have a sponsor, which was sort of the dark days of the club. Even though we might have been performing alright, we're off the pitch, it wasn't the best. So it's great to have that bit of stability with the club now, and obviously moving in the right direction there. On the right direction type of phase thing, Australian football in general. Do you see that moving in the right direction with obviously the winter leagues? There's the talk of more expansion. Do you think that's the right way to go for football in Australia?
I do. We have to look at this in a positive light. I know it feels a bit dark right now and things aren't as great as it could be, but there are a lot of good people in the game now, and bright young people trying to take the game forward. And Jamie Johnson, other people that have got good ideas about how to carry the game and take it forward. So I think we have to have faith in what has already started as a process, and hope that it continues to improve the game. I think we have an idea of where it needs to go, and now we've just got to try and execute that and put into practice what we think is best for the game and move it forwards.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think it's definitely moving in the right direction. I mean, obviously time will tell, but I think the fans and the football in general in Australia will hopefully get back the decision that the FFA make, and hopefully get behind it, and we watch the sport grow bigger and bigger in the future.
Yeah, and everyone, you talk about the league, but you talk about Brisbane Roar as well. It's from the time I've come in for the last 12 months, the people need to know that the club undertook a review of its processes and really wanted to improve themselves as a club. And that's, credit to Dave Poirier and obviously the people he surrounded himself with to try and improve the club as a whole, not just on the field as an A-League club, but everything from the academy to the programs to our community. And, he's really improved the level of where it was to where it is now. And that's even in obviously this COVID time where it's obviously impacted the club. But, I think because of that, we're in better shape than other A-League clubs. But I think we've learned as a club. And I think Dave's been a big reason as to why we've obviously in a much better space now than when we were, say, 12 months ago.
Yeah, I've only talked to David a few times, but he does seem like a smart man. He's got a good football brain as well, which is always good to have people around the club like that. Something that you might have thought of as a player, obviously playing as at the Roar. Was there a player that you thought that might be doing something like this as a manager or a coach in the future?
Like an ex-Roar player, or
or just players you might have played with before that you might have seen them step up and have stepped up at the moment?
Well, look, sometimes you never know. Some people go into management or coaching that you think would never go in and do quite well. I think the obvious one, he's a good mate of mine, is Matt Smith. He's just got into coaching at Brisbane City.
Yeah.
And I've got no doubt he's going to be an excellent manager one day, excellent coach. So he's very, he's a student of the game and he loves the game. He's passionate about football, and he's probably one that, once he takes his journey wherever it takes him, I'm sure he'll be a very good coach wherever he goes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've been talking to Matty a little bit as well, and he seems to know exactly what the right words to say. Like he's a good media person as well with the media, and he knows exactly what to say. But we also saw Thomas Broich is also getting his coaching badges over in Germany, and also Henrique. So there's a few players there from the Roar that might be also. I think Matt Mackay's getting his ones done as well. I know he was coaching at Brisbane Grammar at one stage. So
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think Matty is coaching. I'm not sure if Matty's going down the coaching path just yet.
Yeah,
I think he's enjoying being at Brisbane Grammar, being a former student there, and enjoying back at the school. But yeah, again, it's good to see people like Matty and Enrique, in the game coaching.
Yeah, it's definitely It's the bringing that raw vibe as well. I think a lot of people want to go out and in the FFA Cup. It's like, oh my god, Henrique's playing for this team, so or they're coaching this team. So also just touching on when you were NPL playing for Bayside, that free kick that you that you said that it went a little bit viral there over Football Brisbane.
Yeah. Well, look, in fairness, not that I have too much excuses, but it was my back foot slipped. That just I was about to take it, so then my route shifted back. So yeah, it wasn't a great one, but that's all right. It was my retirement was as quick as my comeback, so that was.
So you wouldn't be thinking about subbing yourself on in the 90th minute to take a free kick for the Roar if it comes down to it?
No, I think those days are done now.
Fair enough.
I don't think I'd last 5 minutes in a environment like that for sure.
Yeah.
The charity game was enough for me. Brisbane.
Yeah. Yeah, that was actually pretty cool to see. Like we didn't see like John T. Richer and a few other players there from back in the day. They get running around, and Solizano obviously playing at Lions now scored a goal the other night, which is great to see. A bit weird seeing a striker wearing number 2, but I mean, each to their own.
Yeah. But look, it's good, and I think as a club, again, it's part of what we want to do better. We want to remember our past players, and events like that really, it's good to bring them back onto the park, back in the Roar shirt, and where we can, we want to obviously make sure we remember the past and the players that represented our club, and hopefully, we can do more of that in the future.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something that you've almost already instilled in the club, that you want to sort of bring that Queensland and that Brisbane mentality, which is, I think, something that the fans would love to see. And I'm really excited to get behind it as well, and hopefully bring a bit more success to the Brisbane Roar and the Brisbane community in football. But I think we might wrap it up now. I know you're a busy man, so you might have some more few things to do tonight. But thank you so much Warren for joining me tonight. I'm very honoured and very happy to have you as my first ever guest on a podcast or a video interview type thing there. But thank you for your time tonight, and I'm looking forward to the season.
Yeah, and thanks, mate. And look, I was more than happy to do it. It was a pleasure, and I've enjoyed it. And just keep supporting us, mate. And anyone that listens, just get behind us next year. And like I said, we're hopefully we'll be a team that will be entertaining and one that you'll be proud of, and hope we can have some success.
Great words from you, Warren, there. All right, cheers, guys. Thanks for watching, and hopefully have a few more in the future with some maybe other role players or other football people around Brisbane. Cheers, guys. Now we stop this one now. There we go.